Today on Art Is, we're learning about how to make a collage with Dr. Terry Allen. Today's class was at River Gold Elementary School in Coarsegold.
Art Is was made possible by a grant from the Bonner Family Foundation in support of the arts and education.
Hello, boys and girls. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Today our lesson is about collage. Collage is an art form in which artists cut out papers and fabric and wood and that sort of thing and glue them on a surface. I've made a collage out of the word collage right here. I've taken papers that we have already painted and cut the letters out and put them together to form that one word. So everybody say the word for me, collage. Collage. Oh, good job. Okay, remember too that we talked about this artist illustrator named Eric Carle. He's done a number of books. Most of them are kind of scientific, but look at the artwork he has done with his illustrations. You notice the rooster here? How each part of the rooster has a different cutout? Take a look at that closely. See, the rooster's breast is brown, his wing is kind of yellowish and orange, and the feathers up around his head are blues and purples, and his comb up here is pinkish red. Look at his beak. It's yellow. They're all different colors, and they have different shapes, don't they? Here's another example. This is a lion, and look how the artist has done that. Separate ears, separate face, all because they have different colors and textures. And here's another one with a lamb. You'll notice how the legs, the tail, the body, the head, all had different parts to them. They have different textures and different colors. Okay? Now, when I was here last with you, we did some preparation for today's lesson. I'd like to show those to you for just a minute. Let's take a look here. What are some of the words art words that you remember when we painted these? What do you think, Noah?
Texture.
We did texture. And texture is what? It's the way things feel. Good job. Okay. And over here, we have a different texture, don't we? Look at this. This has squigglies all over it. All right? And this one has almost hairy looking textures to it. And then there was something special we did with this. We got lights and darks. How did we do that? Daria?
We mixed black and white to get darker colors and lighter colors.
Wow, did you hear that? We made darks and lights using white and black to mix with the colors. So here we have some light colors of purple. It's a different value of purple. Here we have some darker colors, and that's where she's mixed black with them. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of purple here, but there are light purples and dark purples and medium purples. Now those lights and darks were called what? Values of color, right? And we've talked about texture. Now, when we painted this, we took it as just a plain work of art, didn't we? Okay? And since this didn't have any pictures of anything in it, we called it what? Yes, go ahead, Ben.
Non-objective.
We called it non-objective. Good job. So the three art words we learned were texture,
values of colors, non-objective.
Good. Now we're going to leave those behind. Those are words that we've learned last time. Now we're going to put some new things together. We're going to take those papers that we painted and create our own collage with those. But I want to explain it just a little bit further. Eric Carle, when he did his illustrations, he painted papers first, just like we did. He used all different kinds of values of color, different textures and so on. And then when he came to illustrate his books, he cut out the pieces that formed the animals and the plants and the houses and all those other things that he put into his pictures out of these papers. And that's what we're going to do next. So now, let's think about it. We have to have a subject about which we're going to make our collage. And I understand you've been studying about the San Joaquin River. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What are the things that you remember about the San Joaquin River? What did you learn about them?
There's different kinds of animals there.
Good. Different kinds of animals are there. What else did you learn? Yes, Ben?
That the river used to run red with salmon.
Oh, it used to run with salmon in it. Very good. Jenna?
Plants,
I'm sorry?
different plants.
There are different kinds of plants. Okay, we've talked about animals, we've talked about plants, and we talked about the salmon that used to run, so a little bit of the history of the river. What else, Zane?
Wildlife.
Good. Wildlife. And Bryce said animals, and wildlife and animals are pretty much the same thing, aren't they, boys and girls? So let's think of some of the animals that you are familiar with that were in the river or on the river or above the river. And let's set some examples on the board here. Ben, why don't you give me one?
Fish.
Fish, okay, good. What's another? Noah?
Ducks.
Ducks. And let's see, Max?
Beavers.
Beavers. And let's get a couple more. Kendall?
Frogs.
Frogs. And let's have another one. E.G.?
Birds.
Birds. Good job. Look at all of these animals that appear around the river. And this is just a few of them, isn't it? So we have fish and ducks and beavers and frogs and birds. All of those animals exist at the river. Now, someone a little while ago said plants. Can you think of some of the plants that they have? Are there specific ones? What do you think, Andrew?
I was just going to say snails.
Going to say what?
Snails.
Snails? Okay, well, we can add snails over here. That's not a problem. Now, let's think of some kinds of plants. Logan?
Grass.
Grass. And we have different kinds of grasses. We have tall grasses and slow grasses. So I'll write that up here. Grasses. All right. What other kinds of plants did we see? Max?
Sawgrass.
What was that again?
Sawgrass.
Sawgrass? Wow. I have a feeling that sawgrass is probably something that'll mark your skin if you get too close to it, right? Okay, Ben?
Stinging nettle.
See, nettle? Oh, yes, I remember nettle. And Zane?
Ash trees.
And ash trees. Okay, we have trees, don't we, around that? And in fact, I'm going to put tree down in general, but you said ash tree, which is a specific kind of tree. Waylon?
Flowers.
Flowers, sure. What kinds of flowers do you think they are? Are they the kind that you grow in your garden at home? Jen?
Wildflowers.
Wildflowers, certainly. So look at all of these things that we can have that exist in the river, and these are things that we can put into our collage. Let's take a look at these two collages we have over here. This one first. This is done in the style of Eric Carle also, where the paper was prepared ahead of time, and then the artist cut out the pieces and put them together. So take a look. What happened with the sun here? The person cut out a circle for the sun, and then these are all what? What are those called?
The rays of the sun.
The rays of the sun, okay? And look over here. We have a flower, and this has a, what was that word you just said?
Stem.
Yeah, stems. And what else is on there? Cheyenne? Leaves, good. And what do we have here? Elias?
Flower.
We have the flower itself, don't we? And then over here, what do we have? Oh, golly, who have I not called on? Daria.
A butterfly.
We have a butterfly, and look how the butterfly has been prepared. It's got all the different antennae on it, the body of it, and the wings. All those different designs are different shapes and different colors and different textures of the paper that that person has already done.